Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ken, and you're watching Ken's Cuts. Thanks so much for stopping in. I just want to wish everybody a happy Sunday. It's about 26 degrees this morning here in central New Jersey. Thank God the wind is only blowing at about 4 or 5 miles an hour, so the feels like temperatures a balmy 25 Fahrenheit. So we got to love that. Just wanted to recap where I ended up for the end of 2024. I fell slightly under the number that I wanted for total sales. I did have plenty of volume, but I did not have the bulk orders and the big dollar, deliveries, half cords and cords. I did sell quite a bit in the fall, and I essentially sold out of fireplace and stove wood. So partly that's my fault. I've got a ton of inventory here behind me, and I will flip the camera around here in just a second. So when I say I fell a little short, it was probably about $1,500 short over what I did in 2023. So as a side hustle, it is what it is. But anyway, it's the second week of January, and I thought for sure this was going to be a slow winter. And with only having small splits and barbecue wood and pizza oven wood ready to go, I've got quite a bit of green wood here that I processed in November and December. But of course, it's not ready, as you all know. But this week on Wednesday, one of my OG smoking wood customers reached out and he said, "Hey, my buddy's looking for some wood." I gave him your number. And about an hour later, Anthony was messaging me saying, "Hey, Pat gave me your number. I heard you've got really good stuff. I'm going to run a little short on fireplace wood, but I also would like cuts that I can use in my solo stove. And I have a Santa Maria grill or some kind of, cooking device. I've heard of Santa Maria. I think it's like an open pit with a rotisserie over it. I haven't really looked into them. But I said to him, hey, I've got plenty of small splits that will work beautifully in all three of those situations. So he asked me for a half cord delivered, and he was asking for it over the weekend. We were supposed to get snow yesterday, so I asked if Sunday would be okay. So I'm going to be taking care of that delivery here this morning, so you'll want to stick around to see that one. I messaged him back and I said on Saturday morning, hey, we only got a dusting. I'll be able to get to the wood. It's not a big deal. And you're going to be getting some of my best stuff. I'm going to be taking him small splits of cherry, white oak, and beech. And for fireplace and for cooking, it's ideal. It's, some of my best stuff, so he was thrilled. And then yesterday, I was doing some work in my basement, and through Facebook Messenger, I had a local gentleman right here at the Air Force Base. He's a mechanic. He's a young guy. Messaged me and said, hey, are you available today? I need some wood. So I managed to get him to call me on the phone. We talked about what he needed. He was calling me from a Detroit number. And normally when I get those kind of crazy calls, you're always suspect. But because I had asked him to call me, he called me and told me that he was looking for maple and or cherry and hickory. I had a small amount of hard maple here that was ready to go. So he said, I'll be over in a little while. So he was here yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, and he was anxious to get home and light off his smoker. He was putting a 10-pound pork butt on that he was going to cook and shred and make chili out of. And I cannot wait to see the pictures of that cook. So I'm anticipating that. But that was a very quick sale. He took out a bundle of hickory and a blended bundle of maple and cherry and a pack of my famous fire starters. So that was a quick 50 bucks. And I've got two orders today. One is this half cord I just talked about, and another is a dear friend of mine who's got a fireplace and always buys a truckload from me just for recreational burning in his fireplace when he's watching football and stuff on the weekends. So he'll be coming by later today. So let me flip the camera around. I'm going to do a quick inventory here, and then we got to start loading up for the first delivery. So stick around. I recently messaged one of my woodhound buddies, and I told him what I had going on this weekend, and he said, Jesus, Ken, how do you have dry wood ready to go? And how can you still have wood available? I said, well, I've got a lot that's seasoning. Here in the round, I've got a bunch of cherry that's been sitting here for months. It's some short, 10 or 12 inch thick stuff, and it needs to get cut up. Under this tarp back here is all smoker chunks and mini splits in crates. I'm not going to peel the tarp back. That stuff kind of looks like what you see here. These are all smoker chunks. That happens to be oak. And then over here in these pallets, or I'm sorry, milk crates, there's about 26 or 28 milk crates here of small split cherry. Everything's marked. You'll see what's here. I've got small splits, 8 to 10 inches. And then I've got some cherry chunks back here. Arthur's one of my cherry fans, and he's going to be coming by soon to get a lot of these crates. And I made him a deal he can't resist. Back here's my barkless cherry. I guess the cold's getting to my brain. That's all barkless cherry. Back there, I've got some bigger chunks, bigger cuts of cherry that's holding bark back there. This is a full pallet plus of seasoned pecan, some big thick cuts that are ready to go. Here's some of the stringy limbwood pecan that I did last year that's not quite beautiful, but it'll burn. And then I've got some small chunks there. I got 2 pallets of beechnut over there, needs to be split. I've got sugar maple over here that came in late this summer. That's still begging to be split. Over here on those pallets, there's 2 small stacks. On the left is a stack of apple. On the right is a stack of pear. A lot of this here is personal pitwood that I'm going to be using. This is barkless hickory over here. And then here is a bunch of hard maple that's all 8 to about 12 inches in length. It was put up in about September. I'm actually going to be giving some of this to Bob when he comes by later. This is a lot more of my personal burning. Cherry wood, maple wood, some big stuff. It's got a little bit of mold on it, but fireplace doesn't care. That's the sugar maple we talked about. And then over here, I've got white oak, chestnut oak, all split, ready to go. Back there. Over here, I've got sugar maple that was put up in December. That needs time. This stack here looks like it tumbled and fell over. That's all hard maple and cherry. Some bigger splits. Back here is all beechnut. That's where I was pulling the beechnut from the other night when the wind chill was in the single digits. That beechnut was put up there in September, and I'm burning it already. As you can see, guys. Oops. We get a zoom in here. That stuff's starting to check really well, and it burns beautifully in the fireplace. I am hooked on this beechnut. There's no smoke. The oak tends to give a little smoke. The cherry tends to smoke, but this beechnut does not. These are all the thin splits that I got from Carol that I'm going to make my solo stove mini splits out of. That's all sitting there, bone dry, ready to go. Here's a stash of my milk crates that I season everything in. And then this latest pile here is the newest wood that I've split. It's all mulberry. The left side is holding bark. The right side is barkless. I put a bunch of this up in December. And here's a bunch of small splits, and I mark everything mulberry 1224. Got a stack of pallets here. My toter that I keep all my chunks and things in. That's my extra crate for slash. And then this trailer is 3/4 of a cord of mulberry that I moved over here that I've been taking some from. And then across the way on the road, see if we can zoom in. Over there on the road is a pile of ash that's ready to go. Bob's going to be taking from that pile today in his pickup truck. And the rest of that is mulberry that I got to get bucked up and brought across. But, you know, as I said in my recent videos, it's about 300 feet away. So I got to offload this trailer and get the rest of that brought over on a little bit warmer day. All right, guys, we're 20 minutes ahead of schedule. Anthony knows we're on our way. We're actually in his development. I just wanted to pull off for a second, show you guys this beautiful load. Small splits, cherry, beechnut, a little bit of white oak. Stuff looks great. I'm going to flip the camera around here, show you a quick close-up. Look at this stuff, guys. It's glowing red. Perfectly seasoned. It was cut earlier this summer. And I'm sure Anthony's going to be thrilled. And guys, look what I found on the way. Laying along the side of the road. 40 by 48. Us woodhounds were always looking for pallets. So I grabbed this sucker. And I'm going to offer it up to the customer if he needs it. If not, we'll take it back to the woodyard. So we're literally around the corner from Anthony's. I don't like filming in front of the customer's locations. Don't want to make them nervous. But just wanted to show you this load. Beautiful stuff. Small splits. Let me get a close up here. Look at this. This stuff is beautiful. It's about 12, 13 inches. Beautiful cherry. Not real thick, but it's going to have a triple purpose. Fireplace, Santa Maria grill, and a solo stove. That's what he's intending to use it for. And this is a half cord. So I personally think he's trying me out to see what my stuff is like. And I'm sure the phone's going to ring in the spring. So that's what we got going right now. And we're going to head back to the yard and get ready for Bob to show up with his F-150. And we'll get him loaded up. So stick around. All right, guys, that's about going to do it for this episode. Bob just left. We loaded up his F-150. He's going to take some beautiful splits home for his fireplace. And I sent him out here with some hard maple, some cherry, some beechnut, and actually a little bit of white oak that I had on the one pallet. And I told him it's quite a potpourri of different stuff, and he's going to absolutely love it. And we actually topped off the load with some fresh ash that I cut early December. So he's going to put that on the bottom of the stack and burn through some of the drier wood first. He's got a wood burning fireplace. He's also an Eagles fan, so we exchanged pleasantries and he's on his way. I'll share a photo here in a moment of his truckload on the way out. And behind me, I've got my wheelbarrow set up with a fresh load of beech that I'll be taking in the house for personal use. So if you like this kind of stuff, guys, please go ahead and hit the likes button and subscribe, and share the videos and the channel with your friends. I'd really appreciate it. We've picked up about 35 subscribers in the last 2 weeks or so. So we're definitely growing. We're slowly approaching 600. And maybe someday we'll get to 1,000. Who knows? It's been a year. And we'll see what happens. So until next Sunday, guys, get outside, get cutting. And we'll catch you on the next one. And as I always say, you can make big fires with small wood. So cut that small wood, make a big fire. Take care, everybody.